Alright, so you can see that I have my lab more or less put back together now after the server rollback. Some things are a little bit changed because I realized I wanted this to be a multi-block high row of machines. So I moved the crafter down because it was just sitting on top of one of laser ion nodes. But we are mostly set back up, although I'm still draining energy out, filling up the loot fabricator full of power. But we're doing pretty good. And I also cleaned up the pipes that were running behind all of these furnaces to use laser IO, so that's a bit better. I still need to clear the ones off of here and figure out how I'm going to handle item transport there. There's no netherite or diamond upgrades in any of these, so these are kind of not being a problem right now. But, you know, in the spirit of doing this correctly, I should just remove them and not try to be the exception to the rule here. I'm also realizing I can probably move these drawers with all the combs somewhere and figure out storage differently, because right now most of these centrifuges aren't actually in use. I could spread out the load a bit better, especially as I speed them all up, because I'm starting to add the speed upgrades to these because some of these were lagging behind. Like you can see there's some stacked up here and here. The iron one used to be really backed up, but now that's all fixed. So I guess we can get on with today's episode, huh? Hello everybody, I'm Martin. Welcome to another episode of All the Mods 8. Hopefully with the server in slightly better shape today. And now we can hopefully move on and get a bit further into Industrial Foregoing. As I showed just a second ago, we are now prepped and ready to move forward and hopefully get some more power, because my system is, well, the battery's filled up. That means the loot fabricator's filled up now too. So we still have power in our network now, but we could be doing better, because I think I'm generating maybe 200 RF, if that, probably less than that. And you know, let's actually start this off with something amusing. Because while we need to move in this direction, because if we want to move over to most of the mycelial generators, which are the old rainbow generators from extra utils, basically, we need to unlock the advanced machine frame, which means we need the pink slime chain, which this works a bit different than it used to. But let's go with something else pink related, and let's go delve over here to the pink mycelial generator, which just requires a whole lot of pink stuff and a simple machine frame. And, well, I live in a pink biome because I'm living in allium fields, and there's a whole lot of pink flowers around here, so the pink dye, not going to be a problem. And here I am stealing wool from spawn because I apparently don't have any wool of my own. And there we go. Now I'm just going to put it down right here, and you pull energy out of the node, and the way that this works is that it burns pink things, and so we need to feed something in that we can reasonably do. Now I could just go, you know, dye a sheep pink and a whole herd of them and just harvest wool off them and feed that in there, but I'm going to go with the simpler solution. Because it doesn't matter what you feed into this, they all have the same burn time, they all have the same max fuel, it's always 135 FE a tick, and I can burn flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a hopping bonsai on top of this for now, feeding it alliums. And by a hopping bonsai, I mean a hopper botany pot, because I've got it mixed up and I can't remember what mod pack I'm on anymore. But these work almost identical to the bonsai pots from 1.12, except they can do any plant. They were actually intended to be used for crops and flowers, but they were extended to be usable for trees as well. Now these have performance issues as well, plus they're also really slow, so I'm eventually going to need to get rid of this pretty quickly, but for now it will at least help provide some extra power to the base. Not a whole lot of it because again, it's slow. Long term, I probably want to make the phytogenic insulators from thermal expansion, because that seems to be the most lag free of all of the plant-based ones, because it doesn't really have a graphic to grow stuff with, but it requires lumium gears as well as the machine frame, which are both a bit out of my means right now. But as you can see, the first flower is about to tick through and finally finish, dumps into the pot, which should dump into the mycelial generator, which it's working. We're getting 3 seconds of power, which is slowly filling up the battery. And now we've got some excess over here, which is getting consumed now. Not the greatest power source, given that I don't really have a ton of materials to throw into it yet, but we'll get there. Don't worry, we will get there. All right, so now that we've got that sorted, what we're going to need to do is make a mob slaughter factory. Thankfully, unlike 1.12, they have changed this, and I can actually tie this in with productive bees, so I won't actually need to use this all that much. So I'm not going to need to make an animal farm, which is good because animals cause a not insignificant amount of lag. But thankfully this is relatively easy to make. It's just mostly a bunch of iron, another pity machine frame, and the plastic that we have tons of now. Alright, so I swear these recipes for Industrial Foregoing, at least on 1.08 for the pack, are proving to be pretty buggy. Sometimes when I auto input them from JEI, the items get eaten. Sometimes when I yank this out, I end up with leftover items. Yep, like I pushed that back down there, I ended up with the pity machine frame and the axes and the sword that I don't need all over again. Sometimes playing on Bleeding Edge modded Minecraft has not the greatest of experiences. So I'm going to just put it down here at the end for now. I'm going to be manually putting stuff down in front of it, and I'm going to use a lever because this just consumes power otherwise, even if there's nothing to get. Looks like I don't need a range addition because it looks like this works here. So I guess let's go find some sacrificial critters to get started. All right, I created a little kill box here because we are going to stay on theme, and we're going to try bees because I have an excess of iron bees. So let's drop that in there. No! Well, had I known they could escape from cages like that, we, Okay, so we're gonna hopefully time a murder here, and we're gonna watch this tick down and wait for it to almost finish. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Not in the right spot. All right, large kill box installed. Let's try this again. Bee. Leash. Get over here. Turn it on. Check the timer. And it killed it. And we got some slime, but almost no liquid meat. So that's a problem. I guess I'm gonna have to go get some bigger animals. And by bigger animals, I of course mean these llamas that a wandering trader brought in. So let's see if this works, and hopefully they don't kill each other first. Tick, 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 tick. Come on, liquid meat. 23. This is gonna take a while. I guess I need to go figure out cows. Okay, how about instead of cows, we have a super fast apotheosis spawner with blazes? Will these generate meat at all? Let's see how this test works. They did quite a bit of meat. Not much pink slime, but I can solve that with bees. So I think we've got this problem solved, and we should have enough meat to finish here in a second. Oh yeah, we've got super large amounts of meat and almost enough pink slime. There we go. All right, so we just need a bucket of each. How do I get the buckets out? This is actually a problem, because I'm not actually sure which this is going to do. Yeah, that was liquid meat. That's not helpful. Claims we can drain it, but it doesn't seem to be working. Maybe if I actually use this tank I got earlier? Nope. How about this one? Nope. Well, on the other side, I'm glad I'm never going to have to interact with this again after I get the pink slime out of it, because we're just going to go make some bees. I always hated this machine. All right, pink slime. And let's put this away. And to make the pink slime bee, we need to take a normal slimy bee and give it a pink slime ball to turn it into the pink slimy bee. All right, so this is where 1.19 differs from 1.12, because you don't put the pink slime into the world to create a slime to kill for the slime balls. You just put it in the dissolution chamber and add some glass panes, and these will convert into slime balls. Now, I should automate this at somewhat because this process does take a bit of time, and you can't put more than one piece in at a time. Plus, we're also going to need this dissolution chamber for some other things, because it also creates the pink slime ingot, as well as the advanced machine frame, which this is what we're actually going to want it for. Although I think I need to come with a better source of netherite. Thankfully, this is something bees can provide now that I have diamond bees, but I got to come up with a block of netherite first. So I got to go do some mining that I don't want to do, which I'm going to have to do for this episode because we need the advanced machine frames. Bleh. All right, so I fed these slimy nests some honey treats to repopulate them since I didn't want to pull the slimy bees from my actual beehives. So let's hope, I think we just feed these a pink slime ball when they come out, and then I can capture them in, yep, there we go, and yep, there we go. Awesome. So now I have a pair of them to get started with a cage to start breeding them up, and now we will have infinite pink slime without dealing with the mob slaughter factory. The slaughter factory is probably faster, honestly, but you know, I've got a shtick. I'm gonna just continue on with it, folks. This is what I do. All right, so I did some mining in the nether, and for way longer than I should have. And well, I only got about half as much netherite as I needed to make a block. So yeah. I also ended up having to make the void upgrade for the backpack to start removing cobbled soulstone, because that was actually becoming an issue. I still have some here that I didn't throw out that I need to get rid of, but that stuff doesn't compact and was actually becoming a problem. So I think we're just going to move on and go make an advanced machine frame and use up some of these chocolate bars that I've got, because we clearly aren't going to make the bee yet, because that's going to take probably more time in the nether than I want yet. That said, one of the things I could do is make the salvager from Silent Gears, because I can salvage netherite equipment to potentially get a netherite ingot from it. And I could go run around the end and try to find some chests with some netherite gear in it, or drops from Enderman or something, because I've already gotten a handful. That said, the Salvager is a bit of a weird crap because it requires crimson steel ingots, which I've got some, thankfully, from drops and from some more. A bunch of diamonds, which thankfully that's not an issue. And then this upgrade magnet, thankfully, is not all that hard to make, as well as a blank here, which requires, well, more diamonds. And then I need 2 Aldemodium nuggets, though, which that part I do not actually have. That I could go search for it. I believe they're down in the deep dark, but that's more mining. I could beg people on the server for a couple, but that's not who I am, folks. I got to do this myself. I've got to see how bad this is. So I think let's just move on and actually go make the advanced machine frame so I can go make the slimy generator. And as I showed before, the advanced machine frame is 2 netherite, a simple machine frame, and some pink slime. And thankfully, we have more than enough pink slime because we got a... I did not invite you llamas to this party. Why are you here? Wandering traders, man. Huh, the trader's invisible. That's weird. Well, on the upside, we already knew the pack had some bugs, right? Right. Anyhow, as I was saying, we already have some pink slime because we got a tank of it from the reward from the quest for getting the liquid meat as well as the pink slime. So I've got enough to work with for now. I don't have to go hurry up and get the bees going for this. All right, and that's the advanced machine frame cooking in, man, 15 seconds, huh? I kind of want to put some speed upgrades in this. That's going to take forever. Thankfully, due to the power of video editing, you don't have to. But there we go, and now we can make the mycelial generator, which requires some slime blocks, which, well, we've got a bunch of slime balls, because that's all it takes. A bucket of milk, which, well, thankfully there's some cows that spawn. And then we've already got this now. And now to watch the bugs happen, and let's see if we can keep the advanced machine frame. Because I'm not above actually benefiting from this bug right now, given that I don't have much netherite. Nope, just the bucket. That one actually worked fine, go figure. All right, so I've got it all set up, or do I? Because you come in here, you see that it's not generating power or using the slime balls because we have forgotten something. And that's that this requires milk to run. So I think we're gonna go make yield cow in a jar to do this, which just requires a jar and a milk bucket. And then an anvil. I'd like to think most of you have seen my videos, but I think we all know that's not true, and it involves smashing a cow with an anvil. We'll get to that shortly, although I've got to go find some cows. I'm not gonna lie, I went out looking for cows twice before I remembered I actually had to make the bottle. But there we go, cow in the hole, anvil on the cow, and into the jar it goes. And for now, I'm just going to put it directly behind the mycelial generator just because I don't really want to have to set up another laser node right now, and it doesn't need to be visible. But now, as you can see, the mycelial generator is now also creating power, although it's going to be gated by how much milk we have at any given time, because that's what it has to burn to be able to generate the power. So we will eventually tap out the cow in the jar maybe, and I might need to make multiples, but for now, this will do. So I'm not gonna lie, this wasn't the massive amount of progress I was hoping for this week, but it's still progress nonetheless. We made a couple more generators, we got a little bit more power going into the base, and we made our first advanced machine frame and the infrastructure to do so, although we need to do more netherite. So if you found this episode interesting or entertaining, please give it a like or subscribe if you're new. As always, I'm Ard. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.